Hello and welcome to a CBK gaming video. Join us as we discuss and review Gloomhaven by Cephalofair Games. So what is Gloomhaven? Why does it belong in your collection? Gloomhaven is a 1 to 4 player semi-cooperative dungeon crawler game. There is a story, you pick a character. It's unlike Dungeons and Dragons where you might pick wizard, warlock, warrior, rogue, cleric. Here you're picking a name, so Cragheart or Scoundrel, Tinker, Mind Flayer, Brute, and you don't really know much about them until you open the box. Some of them you can guess. Brute is going to be a fighty type, Scoundrel is probably going to be a rogue, and a Mind Thief is probably going to be a wizard. But what's Cragheart?
That's why I had to choose it.
Yeah, and that's fun. And as you progress, you unlock other characters. Once you achieve certain goals with your main character, which you then retire, and these new characters are just symbols. We're not going to spoil anything here. We've hidden as much as we can of the parts that we had opened up. These boxes contain interesting new characters, and that's a good mechanic. We're going to come back to that. This game has been in the Board Game Geek #1 slot for a very long time. There are glowing reviews everywhere for it. We disagree. Let us explain to you, and please stay with us, why we believe this is a mediocre game and that there are better options on the market. Well, first of all, I've said about the really clever way of playing the characters. We like that. It's really good. Bit of surprise, bit of difference. Let's just dive into the components, because the figures, you get minis. They look good, they look interesting. They're a bit different to paint. That's a good thing. Then you've got these standees. For the enemy, they're fine, except for after 25 stories, what we found is that the card print started to peel away from the card. Yes, okay, you can glue them, but a game should be made to last the longevity of the game itself. This game has 100 or so stories, adventures to partake in. The components, being a legacy game, we know that they're designed to be thrown away and destroyed. That's a bugbear for us, but we understand that. But they should last the game time that it takes to play the campaign. It is a legacy game, as we've just said. That means you're told to destroy cards. That really irks me. I don't like the fact that you make a game, you then throw it away because you've torn cards up, you've destroyed things, changed things. Yes, legacy games work, they're good ideas, but can't we just put them in a bag, and can't we make the components of better quality so they last, so you can sell it on, pass that enjoyment on to somebody else, or play it again. You may want to play it again. Now you can do that with Gloomhaven. You can not follow the instructions and not rip up cards. That's fine. But it's not made to last that long. That's where I have a problem. The cardstock's not great quality. The print's not great quality. There's a lot of it. It's a huge box.
Yeah.
Weighs a ton. But it just needs a bit of a better quality to it. The story. It's the main reason to play games like this. In my opinion, I like playing for the story and the narrative. It's not good. It's rather lackluster. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's pretty bland, pretty boring. You have better options out there on the market. It did keep us drawn in for 25 sessions, 25 of the adventures. But that's because it was good fun, sat around the table with 4 other players, playing something completely different, completely alien. Gameplay. Gameplay is interesting. This is not a dice-driven game. You use cards to decide whether you hit or not. What I like about this is that you can, using experience, etc., you can add new cards. So you can take out minuses, you can take out perhaps some of the misses, you can put new cards in. It allows you to manipulate your deck as to whether you can hit or not. That is very good. The characters themselves, they're all slightly different. They've got different abilities, different number of cards that are their actions. Those actions are numbered, so you have an initiative on these cards. You have a certain number of the cards. Once you have reached a number that exhausts your character, you're no longer able to carry on. So you have to manage your deck very well. So these initiative cards work. You pick up, well, your action cards, not initiative cards. They have initiative numbers on them. So here 3 and 88. 3 will go first. That's a faster card, with 88 being a slower card. Every character has a different number of cards, different speeds at which they go, which makes the puzzle element of using the cards, defeating the enemy, quite good fun. Each of these cards has a top and a bottom action. You can only play one top, one bottom. So some of those are different sort of cards. Some of your best cards have some interesting actions on the bottom as well. So that's all well and good, and that was all good fun. The problem here is that when you have cards that you can't talk about, you may set up to do a certain action. Because you haven't spoken to your colleagues about what you are doing, they may all try and go for the same thing, and the actions that you have left may not allow you to do anything on the board. They may not allow you to fight a certain group of enemies, and therefore you can lose rounds. Now as you play, you start to learn the character's strengths and abilities, and you start to work better together. But it's not as cooperative as, say, for example, those other games like Memento Mori or Dark Light or Perdition's Mouth.
Yeah.
That irked me a little bit. And unfortunately, as we went along, that then stopped us from enjoying the game. Overall, the gameplay was just kill everything.
Yeah.
That became boring after a while.
Yeah.
There's, again, other games have other options, other things that you can do.
I mean, the veneer of the story over the top, the first few dungeons, you walk in, you've got the story on your head, you know what you're there for, and you kill everything as you go through to get to the end and you've won. But after 20 of those, you start thinking, am I worried about why we're here? Because I know it's just going to be walk into the dungeon, kill everything, walk out.
Yeah.
There was no extra little mechanics of you do it, but this time don't be seen, or this time you've got this in the way that you've got to deal with a certain way. There was no difference. There was one out of the 25 that we did that had a different mechanic on it, and that one just shone out above all the rest.
It still almost had the option to kill everything.
It was still, you did have the option to kill everything, yes. But we managed to do it without killing everything.
Yeah.
And that to me just made a huge difference. But I was going, why should that be 1 out of 25 are like that?
Yeah. Well, the numbers would suggest that there's only 4 different style of games out of the 100, and that's not good. The game, it is fun for those, and it really drew us in. One thing we did notice, road events, they're always punitive. It's always something that's going to make it more difficult in the main dungeon. And again, originally that was different and interesting. We then started playing some other games of this similar type, and their road events could be punitive, but could give you a challenge, could allow you to get out of it. Maybe positive, you could draw some positives from. It just felt a better realised world.
Yeah.
To me, Gloomhaven is made to be a difficult puzzle just because it's a difficult puzzle. There's no good story around it, the world building is not great. I wanted to learn more about the world, and actually I'm looking forward to Frosthaven. I'm hoping that there's been some changes and development in the way that it's been made, mistakes have been learned from, we may enjoy it. I'm going into it with that mindset, and we'll do an honest review. But can I recommend this game? No, I really can't. If you want a good dungeon crawler, there are plenty of alternatives. That if you look at some of the reviews we've had, there are some in there, but have a look at perhaps some that are not as well known. That just because it's at the top of a selection of games doesn't always mean that it's the best. Yes, majority of people like it, but I can assure you if they looked at some of the other games that we'd seen, they may find that there's enjoyment in other games too. So I think there's not much else for us really to say about Gloomhaven other than we were really disappointed, and that was a real shame.
Yeah.
We really wanted to enjoy this game. Will we continue playing it? No, this has just gone on our shelf and we're not interested in progressing it anymore. It just doesn't hold any allure anymore. It did do. Originally we were playing it very regularly. We'd arrange an entire day around playing Gloomhaven. We'd get Chris would be around and we'd have Guy around. We'd be playing our characters. We'd go down the pub for a nice meal, then come back and continue on. Gradually, as we played other games, saw other mechanics, other engines, it just lost its allure.
The veneer just slipped slightly more and more every time we played, and eventually it just,
The theme, it lost it. It doesn't do theme very well, in my opinion. Well, thank you for watching. We hope that this review has been of interest to you. If you enjoy Gloomhaven, please leave some messages in the and let us know how you found it, why you enjoy it. You know, those sort of things. They interest us because we like hearing other people's opinions, and it would be boring if we all enjoyed the same things, wouldn't it? So we just like to bring an honest opinion of how we found these games, and if you like similar games to us, the likelihood is you may find the same thing. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you another video next week. Bye.
Bye.